Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're pointing our telescope and maybe our inner eye too towards something really fascinating moving through our solar system right now.
That's right. We're talking about 3I Atlas, officially C2025N1. It's the third interstellar visitor we've confirmed.
And our mission today is to really unpack this because the sources we've looked at, well, they present a serious challenge, don't they?
They really do.
Is this just, a rare chunk of space rock? Or is it maybe something more, something like a celestial artifact showing up at a very precise, almost mathematically coded moment in our history?
Exactly. And to get a handle on it, you, the listener, really need to hold two quite different worldviews in mind at the same time. It's tricky.
Okay, so what are these two views?
Well, on one hand, the sources talk about greatology. That's the materialist view. Universe is matter, energy. Reality's just there, whether we're conscious of it or not. The dirt comes first.
Right, the standard scientific viewpoint, more or less.
More or less, yes. And on the other hand, ontology. This view says consciousness is actually primary, foundational. The physical world we see, it's like an expression and outpicturing of deeper informational patterns, mathematical principles.
So matter versus mind, in a way.
In a nutshell, yes. And 3I Atlas is forcing the hard-nosed physicist and the, let's say, metaphysicist to argue over the exact same data points.
It's like a cosmic Rorschach test, then. What you see depends on your worldview.
Perfectly put. Okay, so let's dive in. We should probably start with the science, the stuff that's got everyone scratching their heads.
Good idea. Let's ground ourselves first. What are the solid, confirmed facts about 3I Atlas before we get into the really weird stuff?
Okay, we know it's the third interstellar visitor, definitely not from around here. It came after Oumuamua and 2I Borisov.
And its path is unusual.
Very. It's on what they call a retrograde hyperbolic trajectory. It means it's moving backwards compared to the planets and fast enough to escape the sun's gravity. But right away, its path looked odd.
How so?
Well, interstellar objects should, theoretically, come at us from anywhere, right? Random angles.
Makes sense. Space is big.
But 3I Atlas isn't random like that. And this is where the data starts feeling less like a comet and maybe more like, well, something else.
You mean its alignment?
Exactly. Its path is cruising almost perfectly flat, aligned with the ecliptic plane, the disk where all our planets orbit.
Okay, that is strange. The odds of that happening by chance must be pretty low.
Extremely low. That level of organization is, let's say, statistically suspicious for a random visitor.
And this neat alignment leads to some interesting encounters.
It does. It sets up some very close planetary flybys. The sources really highlight the Mars approach, which is coming up around October 3rd, 2025. It'll pass just 0.19 astronomical units from Mars. That's quite close.
For something just wandering in randomly, hitting that kind of window seems managed.
That's what some sources are suggesting, yes. Highly managed trajectory.
Okay, trajectory is weird. But that's just the start, isn't it? The chemistry is where things get really wild.
Oh, absolutely. This is where the standard dirty snowball comet model just seems to fall apart.
What do they find in the coma? That gas cloud around it.
Well, comets are usually known for water, right? Ice turning to gas. But 3I Atlas, it has this incredibly high ratio of carbon dioxide to water.
How high?
The data points to about 8:1 CO2 over H2O. Water is barely even registering.
8 times more CO2 than water. That's backward for a comet.
Completely backward. Finding a natural comet with that much volatile CO2 and so little water, it goes against almost everything we thought we knew.
And then there's the techno-signature element. Not like, finding an alien logo, but chemical clues.
Precisely. The sources zero in on finding nickel in the coma without iron.
Nickel without iron. Why is that significant?
Because in nature, in asteroids, meteorites, those two metals almost always appear together. Finding nickel alone like that is chemically very odd. It doesn't match natural solar system materials we've seen.
Okay, that's specific. And there was something about radar, too.
Yes, radar pings hinted at a metallic reflectance, which suggests something dense, maybe an engineered alloy, rather than just a fluffy, porous snowball of ice and rock.
Wow. So trajectory, chemistry, reflectance, it all sounds very controlled, very non-natural, but hang on.
Yes.
Isn't this exactly the kind of thing critics, say, of Avi Loeb's project point to? That maybe researchers are just cherry-picking data that fits a desired narrative, looking for aliens under every space rock.
That's the core tension, absolutely. It's a fair criticism. Is it truly anomalous or just a type of natural object we haven't encountered before?
So how do proponents counter that? What else points away from a natural explanation?
The dynamics, the movement of the object, that really challenges the idea that it's just the sun causing chaotic melting and outgassing.
How so?
Well, the model's trying to explain its movement, its slight changes in speed. They suggest there has to be some other energy source involved, not just solar heating.
An internal power source.
That's the implication. And the estimated power needed is huge, like equivalent to a 10 gigawatt nuclear reactor running continuously.
10 gigawatts. That's a lot of power for a comet.
Way too much for just sublimating ice, yes. You just don't need that kind of energy for simple solar melting effects.
And the movement itself wasn't smooth or chaotic, was it?
Yeah.
It was jerky.
Rhythmic is maybe a better word. Reports noted 3 distinct, very short bursts of acceleration. They even nicknamed them Delta 5 pulses.
Delta 5 pulses. Sounds like something from sci-fi.
Doesn't it? But these weren't like the messy, continuous outgassing you'd expect from a comet heating up unevenly. These seem like quick, controlled thrusts.
Like engine firings?
More like thruster firings, yeah. To make small adjustments to its path. When you hear established scientists openly saying it behaves closer to spacecraft engines than a chunk of interstellar ice, you know something truly unusual is going on. The scientific community is genuinely puzzled.
Okay, that's a really clear picture of the scientific anomalies. Highly ordered object, weird chemistry, controlled movements.
Check, check, and check.
And that idea of order, of precision in its movement, that feels like the perfect bridge to the next layer of this, the harmonic code you mentioned earlier.
Exactly. We shift from the physical evidence to the underlying principles the sources claim are at play.
So the claim is this object isn't just moving precisely, it's moving according to some kind of mathematical code.
That's the core idea from the ontological perspective, that 3i Atlas is a physical signpost pointing to a deeper code, a set of ratios governing not just physics, but maybe even consciousness itself.
And where do we start with that code?
We start with perhaps the most famous ratio in nature, the golden ratio, phi, roughly 1.618.
Ah, phi. Spirals in shells, branching in trees, proportions in art. It pops up everywhere.
It really does. The sources call it the elegant mathematical principle that governs all life and evolutionary processes. It's even found in the structure of DNA, so they see it as a kind of master key.
And how does it relate to space and time in this context?
Well, look at the orbits of Venus and Earth. Venus completes 13 orbits in almost exactly 8 Earth years. During that time, they align in a specific way 5 times, tracing a pentagram in space.
13, 8, 5. Those are Fibonacci numbers, aren't they? Leading to phi.
Precisely. The golden proportion is embedded right there in the celestial dance. It's reflected, the sources say, even in the 13 major articulations of the human body. It connects the macrocosm and the microcosm.
Okay, so phi organizes space, time, biology. But you mentioned another number, one that sounded almost sacred.
Yes. The fine structure constant. Usually written as alpha, its value is very close to 1 divided by 137.
1 over 137. What does that number do scientifically?
Oh, it's fundamentally important. It's a pure number, no units, a dimensionless constant. It basically sets the strength of electromagnetism.
How strongly charged particles, like electrons, interact with light, with photons?
Exactly. You could say it governs how matter and light talk to each other. Some physicists describe it poetically as the breath between light and matter. It's that fundamental.
Okay, that's its physics role. But you said the metaphysicists and thinkers like Carl Jung and Wolfgang Pauli saw something deeper in it.
They did. They were fascinated by the idea that numbers and symmetries could bridge the physical world and the world of the psyche, of consciousness.
So what did 1137 mean to them?
The sources refer to it as the soul's coupling coefficient, or even the consciousness constant.
Wow, that's a leap. What does that mean, practically?
They proposed it represents a kind of threshold ratio, the point where raw energy, governed by physics, actually crosses over into perception, into subjective awareness.
So it connects the objective laws of the universe to our inner experience.
That's the idea. It's the mathematical link between the cosmos out there and the consciousness in here.
Mind-bending stuff.
Yeah.
Okay, so how does 3i Atlas fit into this numeric code? Its arrival time.
According to these texts, yes. Its arrival isn't random timing-wise either. It falls right into a very specific window, basically 2025 into 2026.
And what's special about that window?
It's described as a convergence point, A moment where different calendar systems, our Gregorian calendar, the ancient Maya long count, the galactic Maya cycles, all synchronize.
Synchronized how?
With mathematical precision guided by the golden ratio, is how the sources put it. It's not just about marking time, it's seen as signaling a major phase shift.
A shift for humanity.
A profound evolutionary leap is the claim. The sources suggest this timing is necessary to catalyze a shift, moving us from what they call a primarily carbon-based life form
Did something else?
to a silica-based structure,
Right.
a fundamental change in our energetic makeup, our resonance.
Okay, silica-based life form. That's getting pretty far out there. Let's try to bring this back down to Earth a bit.
Fair enough. It's a lot to take in.
So if we accept this framework for a moment, the code, the synchronicity, this object, as a mirror, what does it mean for us? For the human psyche, collectively? How are we supposed to interpret this?
Right. This brings us straight to that concept of synchronicity from Jung and Pauli. The key idea is that this event, 3i8 less, isn't an external cause making humanity wake up.
It's not pushing us.
No. It's described as a causal, meaningful coincidence, which is really just a technical way of saying it's a powerful sign. It means something significant to you, to us collectively, right now, even though the object itself didn't physically cause your inner state.
So it's like a reflection.
Exactly. A mirror reflecting back humanity's collective readiness or maybe potential for a big shift, a transformation.
The universe is basically showing us our own internal state, writ large across the sky.
That's the interpretation, yes. The sources suggest the object acts as a kind of symbolic attractor, pulling certain deep patterns or archetypes into focus.
What archetypes are supposedly being activated now?
Well, its path highlights the constellation Ophiuchus, the serpent bearer. This is interpreted as bringing up the archetypes of the messenger or the stranger bringing news, and also the healer or the serpent think Kundalini energy transformation.
So it's pushing for an integration, bringing opposites together.
Yes, integrating opposites is key. Material fact meets spiritual code. Old ways versus new potential. The sources talk about it urging a collective shedding of old skins, outdated ways of being, like a global snake shedding its skin.
But this potential awakening, this readiness, it's happening against a backdrop of chaos. The sources mention a consciousness war.
They do frame it that way. The idea is that we're currently being bombarded by a kind of external electromagnetic chaos.
Generated by what?
By our own technology, essentially. Massive amounts of infrastructure, transmitters, wireless signals, all sorts of artificial frequencies blanketing the planet.
And the purpose of this chaos, according to these texts,
The claim is that it's intentionally or unintentionally disrupting human consciousness, trying to override the Earth's natural background frequency, the one our biology is attuned to.
you mean the Schumann resonance?
Exactly that. The Schumann resonance is the planet's own electromagnetic field, pulsing at around 7.83 hertz. It's like the Earth's heartbeat, and it's believed to be crucial for our biological and psychological stability, our coherence.
So the external noise drowns out the natural signal.
That's the theory. When the artificial chaos overrides the natural resonance, the human system can default into states of fear, anxiety, fragmentation, decoherence. It's seen as a kind of subtle assault on our inner alignment and autonomy.
Okay, so if that's the challenge, what's the solution offered? How do we navigate this?
The imperative, according to these sources, is very clear. The antidote isn't about fighting the external chaos directly, like physically smashing transmitters.
Then what?
It's about cultivating internal coherence, deliberately aligning your own inner rhythms, your own biofield with those deeper universal harmonies. If you don't maintain your own signal integrity, you become susceptible to the noise.
So it comes down to managing our own internal state.
Precisely. Consciousness itself, in this view, isn't just thought. It's fundamentally electrical, like a standing wave. Your body is a bioelectrical antenna.
And coherence tunes the antenna.
Perfectly said. Achieving coherence allows you to receive the field of information, whether from the cosmos or your own intuition, with clarity and discernment, cutting through the static. The object itself offers, as one source puts it, no prediction, only reflection. No salvation, only coherence.
You have to stabilize your own antenna to even read the signal properly.
That's the core message.
That really ties it all together, doesn't it? We've gone from this strange object in space to mathematical codes to the state of our own consciousness. 3i8 is presented as this huge pressure point, a critical choice moment.
A major evolutionary fork in the road, yeah. And if the immediate goal is stabilizing that personal antenna, maintaining internal coherence amidst all this external noise, the sources do offer a very practical technique.
Something we can actually do.
Yes, it's called the mirror breath protocol. It's designed specifically to quickly bring your heart rate variability, a key measure of coherence, into alignment with these stabilizing earth harmonics.
Okay, mirror breath. How does it work?
It's very simple, actually. You inhale slowly and smoothly for a count of 4. Really feel the breath fill your chest and belly.
Okay, and for 4.
Then you deliberately slow down the exhale, breathing out smoothly for a count of 6.
Out for 6. Longer exhale.
Exactly. You repeat this 4 in, 6 out cycle 6 times, just 6 breaths.
That's it.
That simple 4.6 ratio, done for just 6 cycles, apparently has a powerful effect on stabilizing your internal bioelectrical rhythm. It reinforces coherence, making you a clearer antenna, especially important during this intense convergence period. Think of it as a quick tool for discernment.
A way to tune yourself amidst the static. Got it. Wow, we have covered a lot of ground today.
We really have. From astrophysics to metaphysics and back again.
Connecting the hard data from scientists with these really deep, almost esoteric interpretations from things like the Codex Universalis. It's quite a synthesis.
It demands holding both perspectives, doesn't it?
It really does. I want to leave our listeners with one final thought, something that brings one of those specific scientific anomalies right back to the symbolic mirror idea.
Okay.
Remember that really high carbon dioxide outgassing, the 8-to-1 ratio, CO2 over water?
Yeah, the weird chemistry.
Well, the sources we looked at interpret that quite pointedly. They say it symbolically echoes our own planetary crisis with carbon dioxide levels, and maybe even our collective amnesia, our collective exhaling of awareness about our origins and potential.
CO2 as forgetting, or pollution.
Yeah.
Interesting parallel.
So the final question for you, the listener, to ponder. What internal rhythm within you needs to break? What old pattern needs to be exhaled? And what deeper external rhythm must you consciously attune to navigate and maybe even metabolize this critical moment of transition that 3i2 seems to represent?